Well, I'm walking down the road. It's about 9 in the morning. I'm going to go to the church. It's Sunday, so I'm going to go to the church around 11. I think that's when they start. Although this is the day after the day of daylight saving time, which means if you miss it, they started earlier or whatever, because it's spring forward, fall back, the old rhyme. Anyway, I'm walking down back street, back road, watching out for the occasional dog that'll bark, but they're usually tied up. And everywhere is trees and snow on the ground. And I am reflecting on being back. And it seems like everything has become kind of sadder since I left. I mean, it's not that it's a bad place to be anymore. It's just that about 4 things seem to have happened. Maybe 5. One is the cost of living has gone up pretty well. The cost of your basic supplies has really risen, and everyone mentions it. It's not that, some person hasn't noticed it, but everyone mentions it. Secondly, people have left the town. So as a friend of mine, Ryan, talked to him yesterday, he said, yeah, prices are higher and there are fewer people. And this is partly an effect of the whole COVID era, which shut down. I talked to a guy new owner of the Alpenglow Pizza, which had just kind of started when I was leaving, about a year before I left. And he said he was the 3rd owner, and that he says so many of the restaurants and shops were hit so hard by the pandemic and the lack of business that they just had to shut down. And so there's that. It seems like there are fewer job opportunities. And then there was the kind of psychological effect of I'm picking my way through gravel on a street. I'm looking for gravel because it's a sign that it's not slick. There's ice all over the road. And what will happen is the sun will come out, the ice will melt, especially the ice piled up on the sides of the road, go into the street, freeze as the sun goes down, and then you start over. Anyway, the psychological effect of this huge rainstorm and flood and landslide, huge scarred landslide on the side of the hill, Riley Hill, has still left it damaged because people no longer feel safe living on the sides of any slopes, because you never know. Maybe more and more rain will come, as with our changing climate situation. So that's just how it is. And the 5th thing is, I used to work with Chilkat Guides, which were bought a few years before I left by another larger organization. The owner of Chilkat Guides, Bart Henderson, must have felt the tide turning, got out in time, And now it just seems like they're being mismanaged, this other company. So it's still quite beautiful to live here. But it just feels like something's missing. And I'm trying to think of when the bloom started to fall off the rose here. Because it just seems they're in a kind of a downward spiral. Not steep, but noticeable. And I'm guessing it was around 2014, 2015 when things had peaked and started to go the other way. Although the new owner of the Alpenglow Pizza says he notices more younger people here. However, the real estate prices have risen so dramatically for no particularly good reason that none of the younger people can afford to be here, as far as like buying a home and settling down the way people did 10, 15, 20 years ago, when things were affordable. So that is the report from the field on day 2. Well, I don't know what I thought I would find, but things here feel like they're contracting seriously. One of the local stores, the Mountain Market, used to be open 7 days a week, now only open 5. Hardly anything open in town, except the grocery stores. There are 2 grocery stores, but Mountain Market was one of them, a third. And it just seems like they got hit hard by the pandemic and never quite came back. I was at the Presbyterian Church, and I counted about 35 people, and then 1 child under 10, 1 kid under 20. The rest, there were a couple people in their 30s. Almost everyone else was 40, 50, or older. That's a dying church. The pastor is younger, but he's doing that kind of music that it's just kind of sweet and sentimental. He plays the guitar himself. We sang When I Survey the Wondrous Cross, great old hymn. And I heard chords in there that just didn't belong because they sweetened it up. It's supposed to be a pretty serious song. I'm walking across from the American Bald Eagle Center. They lost a lot of funds, so they used to take care and rehabilitate eagles. They can't do that anymore. It's winter. And things were always a little difficult. But now it just feels empty. That is the United States Post Office building. For my money, the second most important building in town after this one, which is where the treasures of King Solomon's mines are stored. My library is in there, so let's go look at it. I had already opened the door. Let us enter. A world of stainless steel and locks. Now in just a moment, there it is, a light came on above me. And now I just have to open the lock. Now I came here yesterday and just opened it up and got out my extra tufts. But this is really the first time I'm going in. Did you see the lock number? If you did, there they are, the extra tough box. Shoes. Last minute things. Air dust blower. I wish I had that. What's in there? I don't know. But I'm not. Okay, this is some kind of clothing bag. It feels like pillows and bedding. Okay. Old frame for bed, which I'm not taking with me. Okay. Mannequin torso. I kind of wish I could take this. I will when I get the container. What is this? Huh? My old black suit hanging up. Let's get this upstairs. This is, I don't know. It smells alright, doesn't smell moldy. That is something I worry about, mold. Okay. I might, in the end, take this bed frame, or rather, just the mattress. The mattresses in Georgia are really weird. There's the real world right there. Okay, so this is the Haines Library, perhaps the most beautiful building built in the late 20th century, early 21st century in Haines. It's a nice building, high ceiling, maybe too high, but I really appreciate it. And they have free Wi-Fi, which led me to the following prediction. If you can read that, it's basically variations on snow. Well, I'm in a semi-rural area. There's a little space between me and the next house. More if you go this way. It's been quite interesting being back. I'm coming to the conclusion that the economy just took a total hit here. And much of what gave us, that kind of made life so interesting here, a lot of it's been cut away. It does make me wonder if I left at the right time. I kind of think I did, and a couple of people have told me so. Just got picked up for a drive. I have to walk everywhere I go. And it's a nice walk. We're expecting snow, serious snow in the forecast. Let me show you. And, but I got the snow shovel right here, ready to go. Always keep it handy. when you think there might be snow anywhere in the vicinity. So you can dig yourself out. I already dug out a trench along here. But yeah, so I just was told, okay, I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. The different factors. One, the pandemic really hit hard here, and so many stores closed down. Restaurants, gift shops didn't open. I was just talking with a former museum director. She said they used the pandemic as a reason to basically lay her off. Then there was the big 2020 flood and landslide in December. Then there was the fact that she told me there were 500 less people. Now it's 2,500 people in the area. That's 1/5 of the population here left. And as a friend, Ryan, I met him on the street. We were literally standing in the middle of the busiest junction there. We were talking for 5 minutes, and he says to me, he was from Texas, and he says, yeah, here we are, just standing in the middle of everything, and there's no cars. And then the fact that all the prices have gone up, which is really weird. So the price of everything getting here, inflation's really hit them hard. And I think that, they're going to get out of it, but it's going to take some time. And unfortunately, Alaska's reputation has taken a blow, particularly because of places like Anchorage, where the violence has gotten like Los Angeles or something, or worse. So because of that, people will think that the whole state is like that when we are probably 700 miles as by any form of transportation from Anchorage. So it feels like abandoned, empty. I mean, there are people there. I went to church this morning and I saw people. They were still playing the terrible music. They played, anyway, I won't go into that. It was lovely to see so many people. So there were about 25 people who immediately Burn, we're so glad to see you. But yeah, it's just, the church, it's all older folks, very few younger people. You don't grow that way. And they don't seem to understand that if you play that saccharine music, it doesn't attract anyone younger. Once upon a time it did. It no longer speaks that language. So anyway, I've got a big job ahead of me here. More details coming soon.